Hey, what's up everyone? James from Junkyard Fox. Thank you so much for joining me, and today we're going to be reviewing this pack right here. This is the Hidden Woodsmen Model 23 Rucksack, and I have been testing this beauty for the last couple of months, and my god am I loving it. So, you know me, I'm not an unboxing kind of guy. I don't like to test something out for 1 week and that's it. So I've been testing this out in the desert, in the woods, and even stealth camping in the city. So I'm just about ready to talk about it, the pros, the cons, and possibly some suggestions to make this better in the future. So as always, thank you for joining me. Let's get started. So first things first, let's get the specs out of the way. Now once again, this is the Hidden Woodsmen Model 23 Rucksack. For those 5 people watching this video that have no idea who the Hidden Woodsmen are, let me educate you. That's my buddy Malcolm Waterr. He has been making packs, pouches, haversacks for the last 10 years, aimed more for the outdoor market, the bushcrafters, you know, stuff like that, hunters. And he makes some outstanding stuff made here in America, so we're supporting a small business, and he makes some incredibly innovative, beautiful design made out of top-notch quality material. Outstanding stuff. I mean, he just keeps getting better and better. Now let's go ahead and get the specs out of the way. This is 17 by 10 by 6. Those are the dimensions. Now keep in mind, dimensions are going to change slightly depending on, you know, how much stuff you have in here, how packed it is, how heavy it is. Double walled construction, 500D Cordura with 400D liners, so it's tough and water resistant. It's not waterproof, so you know, if you're in a place where it's raining all the time, this may be an issue for you. But for me out here in the desert, it's good enough. You know, especially if it rains or there's dust storms, this is gonna take care of my gear just fine. It comes with some padded shoulder straps right here for some support, along with some webbing, so in case you need to add extra stuff. Now you can purchase a separate sternum strap on here for additional support. I don't need one right now, so I'm fine. But I actually do have one. It's put away in this pack back here, so in case I do need it, it's really heavy, I can add that and it's going to help carry this a little bit more comfortable. The back is also padded for comfort, and there's 2 slim pockets on the side with a grommet, so in case it's really wet on a heavy downpour, it's going to help kind of empty out whatever moisture gets in there. So one on this side, one on this side. There's a pouch up here on the main lid. I like to call this my glove compartment. And there's actually a secondary pouch down here. Let's just open this bag already. There's actually a secondary one right here. Now I will say that whatever it is you need to put, you're going to use often, like a ferro rod, don't put it in here, because once you fatten up this bag, you fill it up, it's hard to even open this. So I usually just have cordage in here. And because the cordage, once I'm already setting up a shelter, I've already taken things out from here, so it's going to be much easier to access that. But yeah, a second pouch right there. And then in case you wanted to add some kind of patch, Velcro patch. And then it does have this roll top design right here. You can adjust this to make this a little bit bigger if you're going to add extra stuff, or it just helps protect it from, debris getting in here, sand and so on and so forth. So let's unbuckle this, raise this up. And these straps are adjustable, by the way. I did not remove the wool blanket yet, but in case I didn't have that or I didn't need it, on a summer day, you can remove this and then close these adjustable bedroll blankets so you can raise it up. So in case you need to fatten this up with supplies up here, you can stretch these out, make them longer. You have this high visibility iPad pouch right here. So in case you do want to use this, for your everyday commute, for going to work, stuff like that, you can place something like a tablet in here as well. And there's several colors, of course. So if you're working in an office, you may not want this foliage ATEX color. Of course, I could totally see that, but there's some that are solid black, or beige, stuff like that. So check out his site. He has different colors available. Really great stuff. Really loving this bag. So with me, this pack, I kind of view it more as an overnighter type of pack. I'm going to go camping. It's not meant to be this ultimate bug out bag, this ultimate survival bag that has everything you need in there. If you think like that, you're just going to over encumber this and make it really heavy and uncomfortable. So once again, it's meant to be an overnighter bag. There's going to be some redundancies in here, but not too much where it's ridiculous. Now, keep in mind, this is meant to work in conjunction with the EDC stuff I carry on my person and then on my haversack as well. So they all complement each other. Once again, I do believe in redundancy, but I don't believe in being ridiculous. Let's talk about what I'm carrying for my pack tonight. This is going to be an overnighter. So first things first, down here, as I mentioned, you have an adjustable bedroll strap, and I have a wool blanket because it is now November. The nights are pretty damn cold. You can remove this if you don't need it, like on a summer day, or like just a couple of weeks ago I camped here and I was fine with a jean jacket. I could put a light coat in there. But today I want to be nice and snug in the cold night, so I do have a wool blanket that you can remove if you don't need it, but boom, I got it right there. Now, as for this side over here, this side pocket, I do have a Nalgene water container because, of course, you need water for everything, especially out here in the desert where water is extremely rare. So if I run out of water in my canteen, which I'm guaranteed to do in a day, I'm going to have spare water here for boiling my noodles, making coffee, washing my face, whatever I need. And on this other side, this is where you see a couple of my redundancies. I do have a spare flashlight, especially as we approach winter and the nights are getting longer. It's good to have a spare light, especially if you're camping with somebody else and say they're not the EDC type. You're bringing you're bringing your little brother, you're bringing your girlfriend, someone like that, and they're not going to be walking around with all kinds of stuff on their pockets. So this is a spare if something happens to yours, runs out of juice, gets damaged, you lost it, or you need to lend it to someone. So what I like is this side, it clips nice and snug. I don't have to worry about this falling out at any time. And you can place all kinds of stuff in here. You can place, like, say, for example, a saw, your Baco or something like that. What I do have is my other redundancy, and that's another knife. This is the Work Tough Gear Forester. You've seen us testing this out the last couple of months. A nice traditional style puko with a Coke bottle shaped micarta scales, Scandinavian grind, 90-degree spine, with a very nice tight sheath right here, a Kydex sheath. So you'll see the review on this maybe in a week or two, and I have it placed in here, and it's so tight. And we'll discuss these side pockets because I have some thoughts on them, but it's so tight here that I don't have to worry about this sliding out, falling out. You have this pack full, and it's by friction just being held in there. So my spare knife and flashlight are going to be just fine right there. And now for the straps up here, as I mentioned, you do have some webbing. And on this side, I do have, on a carabiner, some sturdy leather gloves. I've mentioned this 1,000 times, but down here in the Southwest, everything is out to stab you. So you're going to be grateful to have a good pair of gloves, whether you're gathering some tinder bundle, some firewood, even food is out to stab you. So if I'm gathering some cactus fruit, everything has thorns and spines and glow kits, so you're going to be glad to have this. And on a cold night, these will help keep your hands warm as well. And then on this side, I have my Exotac fire sleeve, nice and bright for high visibility. And once again, as I'm traversing from point A to point B, I don't even have to stop. With one hand, I can remove this and light what I gotta light. So I always have it in here. So there you go. Now, let's open up the main glove compartment, as what I like to call. Right away, you put the bag down. You don't have to go in digging in here for something at the very bottom. Right here, stuff you're going to need right away. Very convenient. And what I like is Malcolm puts these long straps here, so on a cold night or it's dark, something like that, you don't have to fidget looking for the zipper. Right away, nice and smooth. And Cuervo put a little feather here for customization. That guy's crazy. So let's open this up and check out that high visibility. So outside here, we have that Atex jungle foliage camouflage. Really pretty, really awesome. But then in here, this bright yellow for visibility. So even in low visibility, you can locate what you're looking for. So in here, I have my ferro rod for striking fire. Now, of course, my first go-to is a lighter. But, it's fun to use a ferro rod here and there. So this is from Old Growth Artisans. Very vibrant cord here, shock cord, nice and bright orange. Very nice. So my ferro rod. As I mentioned earlier, I do have a sternum strap in case this bag is getting hefty. This will help with some support, but I don't really need it right now, so I just keep it in here. I have some AAA batteries for my lantern that I carry on my haversack, the Yuko Sprout. Now, you've seen our review on that. The Sprout, it is USB rechargeable, but in case I run out of juice, once again, that overnighter turns out to be 2 nights, 3 nights for whatever reason. We're stranded out here. This is going to help keep that lantern going. And then the main reason I have up here, the main thing I try to put in here is my hygiene stuff. So in the mornings, you know, I feel really gross. You know, I've been sweating. I've been in front of the fire, so I'm getting soot and smoke and, you know, all that stuff. So I like to wake up, wipe my face, and of course, you want to wipe your hands before you cook anything, or, you know, when you gotta go, you gotta go. I mentioned before, everything is out here to stab you, so we don't have nice little smooth, soft leaves out here. You're gonna want to bring some wipes if you gotta take a crap in the desert, believe me. And then, of course, we have some Scope mouthwash, especially in the mornings when I wake up. I'm a very groggy person. I'm not an early bird. So, you know, as soon as I wake up, I rinse my mouth with this, clean my face, get some coffee, and it wakes me up. So, basic hygiene right there. And that's about it. Although we have plenty more room in here to place more stuff if you want. I just personally don't put that many stuff because it starts looking all bunched up in here and it kind of starts killing the aesthetics of it. But if you needed to, you can. And now let's unbuckle this. And this is a roll top design, as I mentioned earlier. So this is going to protect from sand and stuff getting in here, debris getting into your stuff. But at the same time, in case you're going to camp here for a longer time, or once again, it's winter time, so you may want to bring spare clothes or spare food. You can kind of fatten this up all the way to the top and adjust the straps and make this longer, so it can become a bigger pack if needed. I wouldn't recommend overly doing it. Once again, you're out here in the cold, maybe for 2 days instead of 1. You're going to want extra food, maybe extra water. It works for that. So this is really nice. So let's see what I'm rocking in here. So first things first, I have my Tough Possum Gear little first aid kit. Now it's not some end-all be-all first aid kit, but it's a nice boo-boo kit in case I got burnt over the campfire, if I got stung, anything like that. I tripped and I scraped my knee. You know, I got the basic ibuprofen, anti-diarrhea pills, I got gauze, I got, you know, sanitation wipes, stuff like that. What I love about this little first aid kit is that it glows in the dark, so right away something happens and someone needs to get in here and reach the first aid. I don't know if you can see it there, but it glows beautifully. Really like that. So first aid kit, never hurts to have one. I do have my Pathfinder bivvy to help keep me warm in case I didn't have a blanket. I did use this recently. And it did help. Now, you're not going to be comfortable. It'll keep you alive, but that doesn't mean you're going to be nice and cozy. So that's why I brought the wool blanket. But so far, I'm liking this. It's like a burrito wrapper for the body. It's just bouncing the heat back onto you. But, you know, good for emergencies. So, part of my bedding right there. While we're on the subject of bedding, I have the Unigear Comfy P3 Air Sleeping Pad. It's a mouthful, but you've seen us testing this out for the last month. You know, you just inflate it and it just raises you off the ground a little bit, add some cushion from, you know, all the rocks and roots on the ground and stuff like that. So this with the wool blanket, with the bivvy, I'm gonna be pretty cozy. Definitely was a game changer when you're staying overnight. I have my Snug Pack all-weather shelter. Once again, you saw this recently when I camped right in this area, and I improvised an agave shelter, and I used this to improvise a little tarp shelter with this. So, you know, provide in case it starts to rain or snow, whatever the case may be. And of course, that comes with the stakes, so you can pound down that tarp, kind of give it some tension. And now, we have food. And we have food in this Junkyard Fox outdoor... This Junkyard Fox little bag. I know it's a little bit of a shameless plug, but if you're interested in purchasing one, the link will be down below. In case you're interested in purchasing anything of this that we've talked about, I'll have it in the description box down below. But yeah, I usually like to keep my food all in one place. And this is a reusable bag. You just close this up. And I got some Indonesian ramen noodles. I actually got 2 of them. I also have some coffee. I have some creamer for my coffee. And I have my spice kit. So, you know, you need to jazz up these ramen noodles with some pepper, some blackening, seasoned salt, some cayenne. There you go. So once again, I like to keep my food all in one spot. And if you're interested in purchasing one of these beauties, I'll have the link below. Now, how am I going to cook that food? Now, obviously, I like to make a fire when I'm out in nature, but sometimes you can't. For example, when I was doing a stealth camping in the city, I camped 4 stories high on a church, and I didn't want to be seen. Of course, what am I going to do? Be lugging firewood back and forth up the steps? So, I got my pot. I got my MSR Pocket Rocket 2. I got my gas canister. And I have a spare bandana. And I keep the bandana mainly so it's not dinging back and forth, you know, as it's hitting as I'm walking and making noise. At the same time, the bandana can help me, you know, wipe my hands as I'm eating, wipe my face, that kind of stuff. So, my cooking implements right here. Okay, now let's take a look inside. It's getting a little dark here, but you can see, once again, the high visibility on this little laptop sleeve right here. I have a cutting board in case I need to cut something, slice up some jalapenos, some green chili. And I also have this little grill. And you've seen this grill before, the Pocket Rocket. I've spilled a lot of water, boiling water with it before. So with this grill, it adds stability. Once again, I can also grill like a green chili on here as well. So I like that. It doesn't take up too much space, but it just makes my cooking implements just a little bit more reliable. And then, of course, the top to my pot, so I can close it. And that's about it. So, pretty good stuff. Once again, looking at all this stuff, I have a tarp to improvise a shelter, along with the stakes. And then for my bedding, I have my bivy sack, my air mattress, my wool blanket, so I can stay relatively comfortable. And then when it comes to cooking implements, I need to boil some water from a stream, whatever the case may be. I have a gas stove, a pot, so I can boil some water, whether I'm cooking this over, you know, by a campfire, or I have the MSR Pocket Rocket with the gas stove in case I need to conserve my energy or whatever. And I can make my coffee, I can make my ramen noodles, you know, whatever I want with my food right there. And then, of course, over here for redundancy, I do have a flashlight and a knife. And over here, I got some spare water. Some for fire. I have a lighter. And then keep in mind, I also have that large ferro rod on the glove compartment. I have hygiene stuff in the glove compartment as well. Spare batteries. And some wool gloves. Once again, protecting your hands from thorns and spines. At the same time, they can also keep you warm on a cold night. So there we go, folks. The Hidden Woodsmen Model 23 rucksack. I've been testing this out for the last 5 months, and I love it. I love Malcolm's designs. He just keeps getting better and better. And I've used this not only in the desert, the woods, but even in the city stealth camping. So I've gotten to know this bag. I gotta say, I love it. Malcolm from the Hidden Woodsmen has this thing where he constantly goes back to his older designs and kind of updates them or tinkers with them. He'll listen to what the customers, what the audience is saying, maybe, you know, any nitpicks, anything like that, and he'll try to improve on his designs. So I definitely think this pack is gonna have a version 2 at some point. One issue that I have with it, and I'm not the only one, I've seen some other reviews, are these side pockets. Now, they're not the end of the world. They're not a deal breaker by any means. But when you have this pack fully decked out, you know, it's fully loaded, it's a tight fit to take things out and place them in here. Now, can I do it? Yeah, I can if I really try. But it's just a little bit of a nuisance. And it does get a little old after some time. So, Malcolm, you know, one suggestion that I would have, and I've never made a pack in my life, so I can be completely wrong here. You know, I don't know. But if this can be made a little larger, but maybe there's like a drawstring to tighten up at the top. And maybe that way, you know, you place a heavier, larger water container, for example, and you can tighten this up, And so that way it's nice and snug in there, but in case you need to access it, you know, you're able to loosen it up, open it up, remove it. That's just an idea. So that's about it for me, folks. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any questions, comments, suggestions. Do you own this pack? And is there anything that you love about it, or maybe you're not so crazy about? That way we can all get a consensus going, and that's only going to help Malcolm make even better products in the future. And big thank you, as always, to Malcolm from the Hidden Woodsman for sending this to us. We're forever grateful for your continued support and your friendship, my friend. And I'll have the link down below to the Hidden Woodsman so you can purchase one if you're so inclined. The holiday season's already here, so if you want to treat yourself to some really awesome new bag, or maybe that outdoorsman in your life, we'll have the link down below. So that's about it, folks. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys next week. Now go outside and get your boots dirty.